What is up, rednecks? How's everybody been? Hope y'all are having a good time, staying safe, staying healthy, staying happy. We're getting pretty excited here in Ontario. She's almost time, baby. She's almost time for things to open back up. Which is good, because, I mean, summer's officially here now. Leafs are out of the playoffs, right? That was a disappointing turn of events, wasn't it? Good Lord, what are we going to do with those Leafs? Anyway, I'm probably going to polish off my golf clubs and do some of that. Otherwise, I don't know. I mean, realistically, what else is there to do, right? Weird and crazy, but it is what it is, I guess. So, crazy thing this week is last year RV sales were up 6,000%. 6,000%. That many people were looking to buy an RV because all you could do was just hang out. And I mean, it's crazy. There's people down in the States, they're like developing land and selling campsites. Yes, selling campsites. It's a thing. Go look it up. You'll see. I think one I was reading about is called The Landings in Nashville, Tennessee, I think. They're developing land and you can buy a campsite. You know, there might be some investment potential in that, actually. You could rent it out, depending on what the rules and regulations were around it. If there's some sort of HOA or some kind of bull crap. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, yeah, so last year, if you're trying to get a brand new camper, depending on make and model, you were like a good, I think they said year and a half wait list, and it hasn't gone down any. People are still trying to wander through and get campers. So that kind of got me thinking about things and thinking about all these people out there looking to buy campers and trying to go camping. Because let me tell you, that's probably going to be stupid expensive. But with everybody trying to go out and buy a camper and head off down the highway and go camping and family time this and family time that, before you turn into a scene from the movie RV with Robin Williams, I figured I might talk about some things you might want to know before you go and buy a camper. Like, number one, know what it is you're looking to do with it and what type of RV is best going to suit your needs. Like, if you're just going out a couple times in the summer, right, you don't need a big fancy motorhome. You probably don't need an $80,000 fifth wheel. Talk it out. Discuss what it is you need. You don't want to be glamping. Well, maybe you do want to be glamping. I don't know. But regardless, you want everybody to be comfortable. You want it to be a little bit like home, but not to the point where you're stuck staying inside, right? The purpose of it is to go somewhere, set up camp, and spend as much time outside as possible. And if you're just going to stick it in a park for the season and leave it sit there, well, do you really need to drop $80,000 on this big fancy 4-bedroom fifth wheel motorhome? No. Truth is, you're probably only going to use it 6 to 8 times throughout the whole year. So be practical, know what it is you're looking for, and be smart. And then if you're getting a trailer, know the vehicle you're going to be towing it with. Make sure that what you purchase isn't going to be too much for what you're towing. Because that's going to cause you nothing but grief further on down the road. Right? you're going to end up with transmission trouble, engine overheats, all kinds of unnecessary wear and tear on the vehicle. And that, my friend, is not going to be good. Last thing you want, be stuck out in the middle of nowhere, some empty highway with a blown transmission or an overheated engine, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, whiny kids in the back seat, and the wife sitting there in the passenger seat going, I told you. Y'all don't want that. Next thing you got to understand, number 3, is know your measurements. I know, it seems pretty straightforward. However, as I'm doing this, I have a vision in my head of a meme I'm sure we've all seen. If you read my blogs, it's on there. This nice Dodge half-ton pulling into the gas station, pulling what I'm sure is a big, beautiful, expensive fifth wheel. He doesn't know his height. He takes down that whole damn overhead. You don't want to do that. Know your height. Know your length. Because there's going to be a sticker on the door. For example, this one on our motorhome says 35. That means we're 35 feet tip to tail. But that doesn't include anything extra. Right? So if you throw on bike rack with bikes, or in some places like Saskatchewan, you can have your vehicle, you can have your camper, and you can have a trailer with a boat on behind that, as long as you're within, I think it's 75 feet. It's been a while, I don't remember. So know your length too, because when you're trying to pull in somewhere, you're trying to take corners, you're trying to park, you need to know these things. Your length, your height. Know your measurements. Last thing you want to do is be that fool taking up the gas station overhead or getting stuck under some overpass. Or thinking you've got room to get into a lane and you forgot about the extra 10 feet of boat trailer that's back there. You don't want to do that. The other thing is know your tires. When you're buying a camper, get to know your tires. If you buy new, just because you're buying a brand new camper does not mean your tires are new. I know, crazy, right? On the back side of your tire, there's going to be some 4-digit number. That's going to tell you the date those tires were manufactured. So, get to know your tires. Look at them. Look for signs of wear on the sidewall, cracks, weather cracking, whatever. If you're buying a used one, do the same. Because it's the one piece that's most often overlooked, is the tires, the age of the tires. It's also not a bad idea, once you buy something, to get to know your loading charts for PSI, so you can make sure that you're not overloading the tires, and you can make sure the proper air pressure is in those tires so you don't cause premature wear. Number 5 on the list. This is an important one. We're currently experimenting with this. Know how much your tanks hold. You're going to have a gray, a black, and a fresh. Gray is where all your bath water and your dishwater goes. Black, self-explanatory, that's where the poo goes. And your fresh is for your fresh water. Now, our fresh holds 338 liters, I believe it is. We can currently go almost a week, if we're conservative with our water, on a tank of fresh. We have black and gray that hold somewhere close to that. And again, if you're careful and you're diligent, you can stretch these out. But you need to know these, because if you're going down the road and you're just going to stop at truck stops or rest stops or wherever, you need to know how much fresh you have on board, and you need to know how far you can go before you need to dump. And of course, the more people using the unit, the quicker that's going to need to happen. My wife and I, we can travel, like I said, 4 or 5 days before we really have to dump. So get to know your tanks, get to know your volumes. Not every unit is going to be the same. Right? They'll be in your manual. Go through it, read it, get to know it, learn it, love it, like it. Number 6 on the list is where are you going to keep this thing when you buy it? You have to keep that in mind too when you're considering the size you need. Because let's be honest, not every driveway these days is meant to hold a motorhome or even a 30 to 20 foot camper half the time. They surprisingly take up a lot of space that people don't actually think of till they get it into that space and they're like, shit son, that's a lot of space. So think about it. If you got to store it somewhere, do you got to pay for that storage? If you're paying for it, what are you getting for your dollar? Is it secured storage? Is it public access storage? Is there only certain people allowed in? Can you only get in and out certain times? Things like that, right? Because, I mean, let's face it, not everybody can afford a fancy garage where they can just back their motorhome into and keep it safe and secure on their own property. So think about where you're going to keep it, because if it's not going to be practical to buy one and store it somewhere, then there's no point, is there? Stick to the tents and away you go. Sorry, but that's the way it is. Number 7, my favorite one. All you yahoos who come along and think you're just going to get the open road and go and stop wherever you please. Plan your shit out. God. The way things have been these last 18 months, you can't just roll up to a campsite and be like, hey, yeah, I need a spot. Because 99.9% of the time, be like, yeah, what's your name? Nope, sorry, move along. So be comfortable with boondocking if that's what you're going to do. Because camping does require some actual planning, believe it or not. You can't just hit the open road and stop at the nearest campsite that comes along when it's 8 o'clock at night. It's getting harder and harder to do. And a lot of campsites nowadays are you got to book it ahead. You got to reserve it and get there. They keep 1 or 2 spots open for us freewheeling gypsy type nomads, but that's it. There's not a whole lot available, so plan ahead. Because there's nothing more than getting a family all excited and showing up and then, oh, sorry kids, we're sleeping in the Walmart parking lot tonight. And that's okay. Get comfortable with that. If you're traveling across country, don't be afraid. Roll into your nearest Walmart, get permission, and set up camp for the night. It's called boondocking. Now, normally, you'll boondock in some piece of land somewhere tucked away, government land, or wherever, that you can go that's open to the public and just set up for a day or two. There's no power, there's no nothing. Just you and nature and your family, your batteries and your freshwater tank, and that's all you go. That can be fun. That can be a good time, trust me. Next on the list is when you're looking for a camper, just because it's a great deal doesn't mean it's going to be a great deal. Sure, we all like to shop around. We all like to find the deal. We brag to all our friends, be like, hey, pal, look at what I got. Check out the sweet deal. But again, back to the beginning. So many people have been looking at campers. New ones are just through the roof, and people are just spilling my water. Putting anything out there for sale, trying to make a quick buck. And that's not cool, yo. So be careful. Ask questions. Do your research. Get under it. And get in it. All through it. Last thing you want to do is take it home and hit the open road, start camping, and your plumbing's leaking, or there's a hole in the floor, or this or that, or whatever. Go through it. If you're buying used from a dealer, cool. A lot of them do consignments. So they'll sell it, but they'll also inspect it and go through it before you take it off the lot. That's what we did with ours. It was on consignment, and they went through it and inspected it before they let us take it. So we knew everything worked, everything was up to par, everything was good to go. Number 9. This one, it's kind of weird. Some areas are different than others. Some countries, some states, some provinces. It just depends on where you are. But insurance. For example, in Saskatchewan, if I hook a camper up to a pickup, that camper is automatically insured because it's hooked up to my pickup. However, not everywhere works like that. So you need to know, do you need special insurance? Is your current policy null and void if you tow something and get into an accident? Because believe it or not, these things happen and these things are real. So double check, talk to your insurance agency, find out what you need, and if they're like, oh yeah, you should be fine, be like, no. I need to know for sure. I need to see it in writing that it's okay. Because whether you're buying new or whether you're buying used, a motorhome or a camper is big investment. And it's something that usually the family gets excited about. So dot your I's and cross your T's. And then number 10, you don't need as much as you think, right? These days there's all kinds of gadgets and tech out in today's world, and I just imagine it won't be long if you're trying to figure out everything you need and the list is longer than it needs to be. You're going to start feeling overwhelmed or even frustrated. So stop overthinking the process. Don't make it complicated. RVing is meant to be fun and adventuresome and exciting. So have fun with the process. Don't wait till you're ready, because you'll never be ready. Don't wait for just the right time. Go get it done. Do it. Get fueled up. Hit the open road. And just go and have fun. And live your life. Like if these last... Jeez, I don't even know. Like 18 months? If these last 18 months have taught us anything, it is that we need to get out and live life more. More family time, more. Just more. So that's it. Those are my 10 things you need to consider if you're thinking about moving into the RV life, whether it's just as a camper, to go camping with the family. And it's awesome, right? Everybody should do it. I wish we'd have gotten one sooner. We had one a long time ago. I missed it. Nothing like going to the trailer for the weekend and just relaxing, right? I mean, come on. Anyway, friends, that's my little top 10 list for you to think about. And some of the information I gave you today, I found on a cool little blog from the folks over at Keep Your Daydream. So go check them out. They got a lot of cool stuff on there if you're thinking about getting an RV or a camper of any kind. Go check them out and give them a read. It's a really cool place to go. A lot of fun stuff they got on there. All right? So remember, the RV lifestyle is great. The community you become part of is awesome. So go do it. I highly recommend it. That's all I got. Go on, get out of here, be safe. I will see you next time. Coffee's on. Come on in. Ciao, rednecks.